Okay, welcome to a new series I'm doing. This is gonna be me recapping the OKL, which is an online Pokemon Draft League. It is orchestrated by Meet Beasley, who runs the Odd Keystone League. He's the one that manages it. So huge shout out to him for running the league and let me be a part of it. This is a draft. This is a Pokemon draft league where we each player drafts the Pokemon that they want on their team. And if you're not too familiar with Smogon singles or Pokemon in general, I'll try my best to explain things that make sense. And we're gonna go through my draft team and the process I had when I drafted my team. So first, we have to go to the draft list. For this league, there are 14 tiers we can draft Pokemon from, and we had a total of 60 points that we could use. And each tier was divided into sections. So we have Section A, Section B, and Section C, and we started at the top with Section A. And in Section A, you only had 23 points. So for 23 points, you can only take you only had 23 points to use in Section A until you either not any more points than been here, or you had to move on, or you just chose to move on. So for example, if you took a 14, that gave you 9 more. If you took a 14 pointer in here, like say you took Rillaboom, you would have 9 points left, and then you couldn't take anything else in Section A, so you'd be forced to go to Section B. And then in Section B, they gave you 27 points, which would stack on top of your remaining points from Section A. So again, if I had 9 points left over, I get 27. Then I would have 36 spent here, and then I make my picks in here until I don't have enough points to make any more Section B picks, or I just choose to go to Section C. And at that point, the remaining 10 points are given to us. There is also one more thing. There's a couple more stipulations I should add on. First of all, being that we're playing in Nat decks, so every Pokemon is available. Or most every Pokemon. I think most every Pokemon is listed here somewhere. And we also had Megas, which this is the first time in this league we are using Megas. And we're also using Paradox Pokemon too. So why I say that is that Megas, we have a one Mega clause. So we can have one Mega Pokemon. So if I took Mega Latias, I can't have another Mega. And we also have a Paradox clause, where if you take a Paradox Pokemon, you can't have another one. So if I took Valiant, I can't have another Paradox Pokemon. Lastly, we also had to have 9 Pokemon on our team by the time the draft was over. So we had to allocate our points accordingly until we had 9 Pokemon. So going into the draft, I really wanted a top 5 pick, and that is because I thought that there were 6 Pokemon at the top of the draft, which were better than everything else, and they're all in tier 14. And those 6 Pokemon were Iron Valiant, because Iron Valiant is super fast. It has high attack and special attack. It can be mixed. It can be special attack. It can be specially oriented. It can be physically oriented. It can be run Choice Specs. It can run Choice Scarf. It can run Booster Energy and attack speed or special attack. It's just an incredibly good mon with a lot of offensive use, with incredible offensive uses. And then my number 2 Pokemon was and my next Pokemon I had up was Lopunny Mega. This is the Pokemon going into the draft I wanted to use the most, because Lopunny is really fast. It's really strong. It has normal and fighting stab, which I think is an unresisted stab combination in combination with its ability Scrappy, which allows it to hit ghost types with normal and fighting type moves. And in general, it's just one of the biggest threats. It is easily one of the biggest threats in this draft. At number 3, I had Mega Sableye. Mega Sableye did receive a slight nerf due to Natex, due to Gen 9, which is Recover, went up from 16 BP to 8, which is the same for like Roost and Moonlight and Synthesis, and like all those moves. The one that didn't get nerfed, I think, is Wish. In any case, Mega Sableye, very, very, very good mon. It has better it has better like takeover potential than probably any mon in the league. Because Mega Sableye, it's really easy for Mega Sableye to set up Calm Minds, burn things with Will-O-Wisp, and it has Dark Pulse, which doesn't have any immunities, so it can take over games really easily. It is easier to stop now because Recover got nerfed. got nerfed, and there's been some new threats added to the game, like Valiant can probably beat it one-on-one before it sets up to Economy Home Mines. Low Penny can beat it. It just really very hard to beat. Like, the best way to beat it is to have like a physical Fairy-mon before it gets burned. So something like Azu, you could come in and click play rough and it would die. But it's very, very strong. But I actually didn't want to use like a Sableye like at all. I think the mon is very, very lame, for like a lack of a better term. At number 4, I had Dragapult. Dragapult is a just all-purpose, really good mon, fast, really strong, has utility using like Will-O-Wisp and Will-O-Wisp and U-Turn. The stab combination of Dragon and Ghost is very hard to deal with as well, and has very good coverage with like Water, Fire, and Electric moves too. And also, it doesn't take up a Mega or Paradox slot. So yeah, that frees it up for Easy later. At number 5, I had Great Tusk. Great Tusk, I think, was a little slept on coming into this draft, but in short, it can be really strong because of high special attack, high physical attack rather. I think it's base 134, which can be further boosted with booster energy. It has Rapid Spin, it has Knockoff for utility. It has incredibly strong attacks with things like Close Combat and Headlong Rush. It's in general a very good Pokemon that it's pretty much just New Age Landorus Sarian, which, speaking of, was my number 6 Pokemon, which has pretty much the same utility as Great Tusk, except it can U-turn, but though it's not as strong. But it does have things like Sword Stance, so it can offensively take over a game if it wants to. So basically, I said all that just to point out that I wanted a top 5 pick because I thought that those were the 6 strongest. Well, Lele is up there too. I would have been okay getting Lele, but I had Lele last season, so I didn't want to grab it again. But yeah, in short, I wanted a top 5 pick so I could have one of those 6 that wasn't Mega Sableye, because I think Mega Sableye is really boring. And going into the draft phase, I'm the coach of the Doki Doki Pokemon Club team. It's a reference to Doki Doki Literature Club. Call me cringe, whatever. It doesn't matter. I actually got the second overall pick, this was a randomly generated pick order. So I was actually really happy to get Mega Lopunny. It might be better just show you this way, because I have my team in my box. Let's close off screen. Go there. Alright, I have it. Alright, there we go. Yeah, the first Pokemon I grabbed. So I was actually the Pokemon I wanted to use more than anything coming in this draft was Mega Lopunny. I just really wanted to use it. I haven't used Megas in so long, and it's one of my favorites. It's probably my second favorite Mega to use after Mega Mawile. But I thought that Mega Lopunny was a bit deal stronger than Mega Mawile. And as a number 2 overall pick, I don't think I was gonna take Mega Mawile. Though I definitely would have considered it if Mega Lopunny was gone. But anyway, base 135 is speed. It's incredibly strong. Base 136 attack. There's a lot of matches where I'm going to be able to outspeed everything and be able to run Adamant too, which I think brings this thing's attack just ridiculously high to 374. This thing has a lot of this thing has utility, something like U-turn. It has really strong physical moves with Close Combat and Return. So very happy I got Lopunny. Very happy I got Lopunny, and I was like shaking a little bit because I didn't know what Dingle was going to take here, and a lot of my picks were predicated on what Dingle did or what I saw Dingle do, and so Dingle actually opted for Zard Y with his first pick. So I was like, okay, that's cool. I'm gonna take Lopunny, and I'm gonna go from there. Because coming to the draft, there's an offensive core I really want to use, which was Lopunny and Meowscarada. So on the wraparound, so by the way, there were 20 teams in this draft, so I had to wait for like 40 picks to come by. I had to wait for like I think I had to wait 38 picks until I could pick again after my first pick. So yeah, but finally, I took Mega Lopunny, which was a Section A mon. It was 14 points, so I was forced to go down to Section B. And I took Meowscarada, which was a 9-point mon. I really wanted Meowscarada because it can break through a lot of things that it can break through some. It's a really good breaker, specifically because it has Flower Trick. this is the main reason why I wanted it, because of Flower Trick. For those of you guys who don't know, Flower Trick always crits, so it's a base 70 attack move. Crit gives it to 1.5 times, it goes up to 105, and with stab bonus, it goes up to 157.5. So, but the hidden truth there is that crits ignore stat increases the opponent or stat decreases from Masquerada. So, for example, if Dondozo used like something like Curse, which raises its defense, Flower Trick would ignore its defense boost and hit right through it. So Flower Trick pretty much just helps that you steal all those mons want to Iron Defense or Curse or do whatever. It's also, this pretty much allows me to just get by any water type I want because of Flower Trick. And Masquerada also has an incredible stab combination because of its Dark Grass and Dark typing with knockoff. And I really wanted a good knockoff Pokemon because I like to play with hazards, and being able to knock off Heavy Duty Boots, which is on a lot of Pokemon. Heavy Duty Boots, of course, nullifies all hazard entry damage from things like Stealth Rock, Spikes, Dark Spikes, and Sticky Web. So I thought knockoff was really good. I thought the combination of Flower Trick and knockoff was really important. Also, just really like Masquerade as like a design. And has good enough speed, good enough attack. 123 is more than good enough. I think it's up to. I think it gets up to. What is that? 379, 379. Very good speed tier. And base 110 attack is more than good enough. Masquerade has also like decent amount of utility with things like spikes and U-turn and taunt. So very glad I got it. Having the dark type in your team, always nice. And then my third pick, which I got on my double pick here, because I got Masquerade, and then he did a double pick here. Ningo committed to Sun, so I was like, oh, okay, cool. We're basically not going to take any of the same Pokemon, because he's a Sun team. And then I got Clodsire with my third pick. So my thought process of Clodsire was because I really wanted, because by coming to this draft, I wanted Mega Lopunny and I wanted Masquerade, because I thought the offensive core here between these two was going to be incredible, and I think it is. I think these two are going to be amazing. But I wanted I really wanted a good defensive like stalwart pillar. Like I wanted something that if I'm getting pressured, if I'm in the backfield for any reason, something that I can turn to. It can eat a couple of hits. It can it can toxic. It can recover. Stuff like that. And Clodsire is perfect for this. Now there was a couple of other mods I was thinking about with this pick because I knew that as soon as I got this pick, there's no way that something like Garganacl was going to make to me, which Garganacl was like, if I got Garganacl here, that would have been amazing. Garganacl, for those of you who don't know, it's the new rock type of Gen 9. It's got things like Salt Cure, Iron Defense, Body Press, Cover, Stealth Rock. Really good Pokemon. But I didn't think it was going to make it to me. And I also thought that Skeletor's would have been really good with this pick. Again, I didn't think Skeletor was going to make it to me. It didn't. But Clodsire... So going into this pick, I was like, alright, I have to take Clodsire here, because I don't think it was going to make it to me on the wraparound. Because my backup for Clodsire was Gastrodon. Because it's Gastrodon. So in that order, I wanted Garganacl, Skeletor, Clodsire, Gastrodon. And I didn't think that either Clodsire or Gastrodon was going to make me, and also Clodsire is just better than Gastrodon, in my opinion. And that's for one very simple reason. This thing has Unaware. So I can ignore stat boosts. I can ignore sword stance. I can ignore nasty quad, stuff like that. With Unaware, so I can stop people from setting up on me pretty much. And then also having the option of going to Water Absorb is also nice. And this thing is just generally really bulky with max HP. With base 130 HP, you can just bulk. You can be really incredibly bulky. And even though its defense is pretty low, if you just max it out, that's still like good enough to take hits and physical attackers. But most of the time, it's going to be a special wall. So yeah, I was very happy with Clodsire. This thing is also very, very just good. Like I said before, I'm someone that likes to play with hazards, and this thing gets access to every hazard. It gets access to Stealth Rock, Spike, and Toxic Spike. So if I needed to run a certain hazard, like say if I have a Rocker in my team already, I can run Spikes. If I don't have a Rocker, I can run Stealth Rock. If I want to run Toxic Spikes, I can. So it's very good to have those options for me. And then it also just has like decent coverage, not nothing crazy, but like it's good enough. And I was just in general pretty happy to pick it up. Very good defensive players for my team. Because I already had two really good offensive Pokemon. I really needed a good defensive Pokemon here. With my fourth pick, this was again a pick I had to wait 40 picks to select, and to my surprise, I had Jirachi came back to me. Jirachi was available. So in my pre-draft, I didn't really have Jirachi on my board because I just wrote it off as something I wouldn't be able to get. But Jirachi is a Pokemon I've been wanting to use in draft because it has a lot of options. The thing is pretty much just a Mew, but it's cheaper. Mew and if you look at this sheet, Mew is 13 points. Jirachi is 9 points and has a better typing. Sure, its move pool isn't as extensive as Mew's, but it can do a lot of same stuff or even better because its typing is better, right? It can be a special attacker. It can be physical attacker. It can be defensive on either side. If I want to be fast, it can be. Base 100 is good enough. Is a really good speed tier in draft specifically because not everyone's gonna have base 135, one base 123. Like some teams are gonna have Pokemon that are base 80 or base 90. That Jirachi's perfect to outspeed. If I need to outspeed this Pokemon. And also Jirachi just gives me a lot of options. I can like I said, I can play it defensive. I can play it offensive. I can do a lot of different things with it. I'm really excited to use it. And also having a good steel type on your team is always a good thing. Like steel types are really strong. Yeah, I was really happy to pick it up. Unfortunately, I did get shambled in my next pick, as in someone stole the pick I wanted here. I really wanted to get Primarina with one of these two picks here. Primarina, really strong water type, really strong fairy type. Eats on the special side. Has flip turn. And I think it was... Yeah, it was Lechonk, BBQ, Uncle Hotbike, who took Primarina here. And it was just like 5 or 6 picks before me. Yeah, it's like 7 picks before me. So, little unfortunate, but I did get my backup here in Dragalge after Dingo did his double pick of Hydreigon and Zavali. I was a little nervous he was going to take Dragalge, but as soon as he took Hydreigon, I was like, alright, cool, I can take Dragalge now. So yeah, really happy I got Dragalge. I also tacked on the Terra type onto it. So, really quickly, I'm going to explain how Terra works in this draft. So so for Section A, you can't have your Terra attached to them, but you can have a Terra attached to your Section B or Section C mon if you do the respective tax. So if you wanted your Terra on a Section B mon, then it costs 2 extra points. If you want your Terra on Section C mon, it only costs 1 extra point. And because I drafted Dragalge, which was in Section B, it was a 2-point tax. And the main reason of this was because adaptability and Terra type stack. So that makes Dragalge incredibly strong. I did go with Terra Dragon. Might change that in the future, who knows. You can change it twice during the season, so I'm not too concerned about it right now. But Dragalge with a mon I was pretty happy to pick up here. It's a ground and poison, so I don't think I care about Toxic Spikes. That's kind of mute because I picked up Cloudfire earlier. But in any case, with the adaptability, it's incredibly strong. It has high enough defenses where it can swap in if I needed to. And just be able to hit things with things like Drago Meteor, Sludge Bomb. It has Flip Turn. Oh yeah, because it is Nat Dex, it gets Flip Turn back, which it lost in Gen 9 because they took Flip Turn away from a ton of Pokemon. The only Pokemon that have Flip Turn in Gen 9 I think are the Delibirds. And Palafin has it too, I think. Yeah, but yeah, I really wanted just add on to this. The other reason I really wanted Dragalge here was that it was a really good special attacker. As you can see, I had 2 really good physical attackers, so I need something strong on the special side. And Dragalge was perfect for this. Even if I didn't get Primarina here, I will definitely take Dragalge. So following my Section B picks, I only had I think 14 points left for Section C. So because I spent 23, 32, 41, 57. I pretty 59. I pretty much 49. I can't math right now. That's 46. What am I thinking? What am I talking about? Yeah, this is 45. So I spent 45 points in between Section A and Section B. So I only had, um, I only had, 'cause I had 1 point left. Why is this an ad? But yeah, point is, I only had 14 points left. I don't know why I'm throwing this much right now. Wait, no, I had 11 points left. What am I talking about? Yeah, I used 49 points in this. I just had a complete meltdown. I'm sorry. But yeah, anyway, I used 49 points in Section A and Section B. So I only had 11 points left to use here. So I had to like pretty much for me what the Section C mods are is like I need to fill typings and I need to fill roles. So I looked at my team and I was like, all right, I don't have any rapid spinners on my team. I don't have any hazard removal, so I needed one. So I decided to grab Colossal here, which was a tier 3 spinner. I could have grabbed something like Serena or Tatsugiri, but I already had a Dragon type, so I wasn't like crazy about jumping on Tatsugiri. And that was also a 4 as opposed to Colossal being a 3. And Serena, I already had a grass type in Yaskarada, so Serena may not have ever been brought. And Colossal also provides some utility. It's a rapid, like I said, it can rapid spin, it spikes, self rocks. So again, I can bring it, run spikes or self rocks, and then I can open up that smooth slot on a Cloudfire if I want to. And also, it's a fire type, which I think adds a lot to my team. It has some good abilities, and has like good HP and good defense. So despite it being a rock fire type, which has a good amount of weaknesses, it also has a good amount of resist, and so it can still take hits if I need to. And the speed here is an issue for me because I already covered like the speed tiers I wanted to. Like I already have one base 135, base 123, and base 100. So my last few months, I was not at all concerned about their speed tiers because my team was already really fast. So yeah, I'm really happy I picked the Colossal. Got a fire type in the team. Nice. So my next pick, again, after my Galaxy pick, I had to wait 50 picks. I had to wait 40 picks so I could pick like a thing again. So this is supposed to be my double pick here. He got Wingull and Tauros Fire, and then I got Gramble here. So basically, the thought process behind this was that I was like, okay, I want a Fairy type. Fairy types are really strong. I like having a Fairy Steel Dragon Core. I think they're probably the strongest core you can have. I didn't have a Fairy type yet. So originally, I had planned to draft Tinkaton as my first section Themon, because that's a really good Steel Fairymon, but I already had Jirachi, so I think Tinkaton was going to overrun a lot of what I wanted Jirachi to do, or at least in certain aspects, or Jirachi's going to completely like overshadow it. So I wanted a Pokemon that could at least stand on its own, and like provide its own use, and still provide that Fairy type that I definitely needed here. And keep in mind, I was pretty much limited to 4 points and below here. And I looked. I was like, okay, everything's available. The best Fairy type available is Granbull. Granbull, not anything crazy here, but I think it has a good place in my team. Base 120 attack, that's more than good enough for what I'm working with here. And then with the ability Intimidate, which lowers attack on switch in, I can play this pretty defensively too. And because again, like because my Cloudfire is more so a specially defensive Pokemon, I can be physically defensive, but I don't know. Sometimes I might not necessarily want that. This can fill in the role and be defensive. It also has some good utility. It has things like Heal Bell, Super Fang. It has some good coverage. So yeah, overall, I'm pretty happy with it. And then with my second to last pick, I'm gonna be straight up. I did not take Altaria. This was a trade. This was a free to pick by me later. Initially, I picked up Tatsugiri because I was like, okay, that's a 4-pointer that will round out my point allocation because I knew I wanted to use my last point for a 1-point Pokemon. And it's another dragon. It's got Storm Drain. It can rapid spin. But then like I looked at my team and I was like, I think Altaria can provide a little more. Altaria has good defenses, so again I can play it on defensively or especially defensive, and it also gets access to Will-O-Wisp, which was a buff I got in Gen 9, and this can be a good aspect of my team in the future of being able to burn things. With Altaria specifically, and it also has Defog. So now I don't have to exclusively rely on Rapid Spin from Colossal and what would have been Tatsugiri if I had not made this trade. Also has some good set of moves. It has Dragon Dance. It has like good special attack. It has a good move pool. So again, pretty happy at Altaria. I think it'll see some use for this team. And Dragon is not a type I mind doubling up on, so. And in my last pick, I got Mr. Vis. I knew coming to the draft I wanted to use my 1-point pick on make a 1-point pick on Mr. Vis. It's my favorite baby Pokemon. I think it's one of the better 1-pointers. With a Violate, which increases defense and special defense by 1.5 for Anabel Pokemon by 1.5 times. Its defense has actually become pretty decent. Like a Violate, this goes up to like Violate. That goes up to like 300 defense with max defense, and this goes up to like almost 400. So special defense, and also base 85 speed is a pretty good speed tier, which is a speed tier I didn't really have because my entire team is either really slow or really fast. Like again, 135, 123, 20, 100, 44, 30, 45, 80. So again, like good speed tiers that cover here with base 80 and base 85. Am I ever gonna run Mr. Vis with high speed? Probably not. But again, it's a good Pokemon to pick up here. It can burn things. It can burn things with Will-O-Wisp. It has Toxic, it has Thunder Wave. It has like it can be offensive if I really needed to. But it's probably never gonna be the case. But again, it's just a good Pokemon I wanted to have on the team. So I do actually end up floating 1 point. As you can see, I have 1 point left over. So I can like theoretically like trade away one of my Pokemon and go up a tier. I don't know if I'm gonna do that. I don't think I am. In any case, I'm actually really happy with how my team is right now. Yeah, this is my team for the OKL this season. I'm gonna do a video for every weekly battle. In week 1, I play against Challenger Seb, who is the coach of the Frostmoth Supremacy. He has a snow team, which is pretty interesting. And I have a team in mind that I think is going to do pretty well. So let me know who you think's going to win between me and Frostmoth Supremacy. And also let me know what Pokemon you think I'm going to bring, because you never know. I might surprise you. Yeah, that's my recap of the draft, or at least my draft of the OKL. I'm not going to do a whole league draft, that would take way too long. And also, if the other people in this league want to make content for it, they can do that. Yeah, this was fun to go over. I had a lot of fun doing this draft. Again, thank you to Meet Beastly for hosting the league and doing the draft, and doing the draft and making all the documents and stuff. You were amazing. And also, a quick shout out to Uncle Hot Pocket, who was the one that invited me to the league last season. And had a lot of fun my first season, where I actually did pretty good. I went 7 of those 9 weeks. I went 7-2, and then I got 3rd in my conference in the playoffs. So we'll see. I'm gonna try and do better than that this season. I've got 1 season of experience in my belt, and I'm pretty excited. So so thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.